8 at 7.
Story of triumph over barriers and bias. Kathy Conheim is the co-author of the latest in a series of books about Henry the cat. Well, Henry, as you'll see in just a second, lost one of his legs. And Kathy has written about several adventures from Henry's point of view. Good morning, Kathy. We also have Brian Mullen with us. He is the cat's administrator.
That's true.
That's
Not
right.
many cats have an administrator.
That's very
Henry
special.
does.
So Henry is having his first official time live on TV this time. And as we're talking about this book that you wrote, some of the stories, it's not just about the cat, but more about how to overcome bias or judgment. Tell us about that.
Well, I grew up hating cats. My mother was partially paralyzed from polio. And I know it's hard to believe that one could hate you. And she taught me that cats killed birds and she liked birds. So I didn't think of myself as a prejudiced person. I just thought I was a dog person. And then in came Henry to our life. He got injured in Julian, and at our second home in Julian. And rather than put him to sleep, we thought we'd adopt him for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks turned into a year and a half. And Henry became our cat.
That is so sweet. Some of the reaction you get from people who read this book, does it open up their eyes and kind of make them think?
I think it opens up people's eyes a lot. I think Henry's here to teach us that hate is learned. You can only hate what you don't understand. And his big message is that we're not defined by our misfortunes, but by our response to them. He trusts people, even though he got harmed by a car probably, and he had his leg amputated by a person. But he's not defined by that. He's defined by being a resilient, wonderful cat who his name is Henry J.M., just me. He decided he wanted to be just who he was. And that's part of his message, to teach people to be their best selves, to be who they are, to don't be defined by other people and don't be confined by other people.
That's a great story and a great lesson, of course, for kids too, and adults. Not just kids, but adults could certainly learn a lot from this book too. Henry is a very sweet cat. I think he's interested in checking out maybe the cameras or other things going on around us. Now, with having just 3 legs, how does Henry get around? Does he have trouble, or is he just fine?
He's fine. He not only is fine, he's more than fine. He uses that one leg as a pole vault when he runs. So he runs like the wind, and he can jump straight up, 6 feet in the air. When he walks, he limps, but when he runs, he has no disability whatsoever. And that's the other thing he wants to teach people, is to play to their strengths.
Yeah.
That one paw is a pole vault. And his message to people is, if you can't do everything, do something. Don't just sit around and say, I can't do anything because I can't do everything.
Yeah.
So part of it is he wants people to do what they can. And his books are written so that all the prophets can help animals that are less fortunate than he is.
Oh, that's a great thing that you're doing. Thank you so much for coming on our show this morning.